So if you're like most business owners, you've probably looked into systems, made a few SOPs and built some automations, only to find yourself still stuck working 10 plus hours a day, wondering why your business isn't growing the way you want it to. Well, after helping countless 6, 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs systemize both their personal operations and their business, I've seen the same problem over and over again. And it's the difference in systems that let you scale in around 4 hours a day and systems that just feel like documents that nobody ever looks at. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact process for building systems in your business and how you can use them so that your business can not only run without you, but can scale faster while you work less. And you don't need any fancy automations or AI for this, because that's not what a system actually is. Let me explain, okay? So the likes of AI and automations and even SOPs are not systems, but they can be a part of your systems, because a system is really just a group of things which work together to achieve an outcome. And it has 4 components. So we have the input, the processes, the output, and the feedback loop. So for example, if you imagine a sales system, the input is a lead has booked a call. The processes are going to be the likes of your reminder sequences, taking the call, following the script, etc. And the goal output is the sale. You can then get feedback through data. So how many calls were booked, how many showed up, how many bought, and that data can then be used to improve the system. And knowing all of this makes running and growing a business so much easier, because everything in your business is a system like that. And it shows you exactly what matters in your business, what you need to focus on. But if you don't know what the input is, what the processes are, what the output is, and what feedback to look for, well, how can you ever expect to run or scale your business effectively? Well, you can't. You're essentially driving blindfolded. Like the first time you ever got in a car when you were 16 or 17, you could not drive that car well. Well, business is the exact same when you don't have systems. However, there's actually only one reason for this, for why systems never work out right for most business owners. And if you don't fix it, then your business will always rely on you, grow slowly, and feel stressful to run. And a few years back, I got into systems because I was running a ghostwriting agency where I had no time to work on the business. I was overwhelmed. I was working every hour under the sun. And a writer that would work for me would create a bit of content. I'd look at it and be like, crap, this is terrible. And I'd have to rewrite it. They'd miss deadlines, all the typical operational problems. And so I tried to find a solution. Turned out systems were the solution to every single problem I had. So I built them all, but yet nothing changed. I had way more clarity and I had a bit more structure and some time due to that clarity, but I was still doing everything. I was still checking in all the time, micromanaging and rewriting things and answering quick questions, which were never quick. So I had to make a change. And it turned out the reason my business still relied on me despite having systems was because I still ran all the systems, so everything still came back to me. And this is something which is incredibly easy to fall into, and I see it all the time with my clients. Business owners will build the systems, but then they still own the systems. You know, they never let go. They keep being the bottleneck. It's like building the thing that could give you freedom, but then never using it to create freedom. And it happens because they miss one crucial component when building systems. But luckily there is actually a really easy fix and quick win here which you can get, and I'm going to show you it in literally 1 minute. But for it to work, first you need to map out your system. So let me show you quickly how to do that so that we can get to the fix. I recommend doing this on the likes of Canva whiteboard, but you can do it wherever you want. And first you have to identify the major functions in your business. So every single business has the 4 core functions of marketing, sales, operations, and finance. Now, some bigger businesses will have the likes of HR and maybe even IT, but all businesses have the core 4. You then need to identify the goal of each function, which for marketing is to generate leads, sales is to turn leads into customers, operations is to deliver your product and service, and finance is to manage cash flow and profitability. You then want to list out every single task that is done in your business. Yes, every single one. This will either take you 5 minutes or 5 hours. It depends on your business. Then write out the goal of each task, what it's designed to do. So for example, content is not designed to get followers, even though often that's what business owners think they're creating content for. Really, as a business, content is meant to get leads. Now, what you'll notice is that every task has a goal that aligns with the goal of one of the functions. So put every task under the function with the same goal, then reorganize those tasks into a logical order. So for example, you can't take a sales call before you send out the reminder emails for the call, so reminder emails have to come before sales call. Once you've done that, you've literally mapped out your business systems. And obviously that is only a brief overview. There can be a lot more nuance and depth than that, but if you want me to personally guide you on how to systemize your business so that you can scale in 4 hours a day, click the first link in the description below. But now let me show you the one thing that allows these systems to then be used so that your business can run without you. So most business owners build, a few automations and SOPs and then wonder why nothing changes, because they skip this step. So imagine you're the captain of a ship with a full crew, everything is systemized, everyone knows when to check the fuel and how to adjust the sails and all the rest, and it should be perfect, but you end up doing everything yourself. Why? Well, think about it like this. What happens if nobody is responsible for steering the ship? Nobody is responsible for checking the fuel. Nobody is responsible for maintaining the engine. Nobody is responsible for monitoring the route. Well, you have two options. You can either let the ship go the wrong way and the problems pile up, or you can run around and do everything yourself. And that is exactly what happens in most businesses. See, most entrepreneurs think that freedom comes from just building systems. It doesn't. The actual freedom itself comes from assigning the ownership of those systems, because without ownership, it's not clear who does what. And this might seem simple, but if there's any confusion, nobody will do it. In fact, there's a fantastic story about 4 people: everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody, which explains this perfectly, okay? It goes like this. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought that anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. See, when ownership isn't clear, either nobody does it, or you do it, or you have to micromanage to make sure that someone else does it. And that's not freedom, okay? This is what I figured out back when I was running my ghostwriting agency, and as soon as I fixed this, my business stopped relying on me. So, how do you fix it? Well, you want to go through your systems map and list out every single team member you have, including yourself. You then make someone on your team responsible for every process and every system, okay? Just put their name beside it. And you'll likely find that you're responsible for a lot. That shows you how much your business relies on you. But that's fine, because it also shows you what you can hire and delegate for. Now, managers are typically responsible for entire systems, whilst normal team members, if that's what you call them, normal team members, what's the actual name, are responsible for processes within systems. Think about it, like managers are higher level roles, so they will have higher levels of responsibility. Now, remember the story I just told you? Well, because of that, you only want one person responsible for something. Don't have 2 people responsible for writing your marketing emails, because then what will happen is they'll both think the other person will do it and it doesn't get done. It's a bloody headache. So only ever have one person responsible for one thing. However, one person can be responsible for multiple things. Now, I get that this can be a bit confusing, so let me give you an example of this to make it super clear. Let's say you have person A. They're your marketing manager. They're responsible for your marketing system. If they're your only person in marketing, then they're also responsible for all the processes or tasks in the marketing system. But if you have a person B, who is your email copywriter, then person B will be responsible for the writing emails process in the marketing system. Now, obviously, what each person is responsible for should be super clear based on your team, because you did hire them for a purpose. But a crucial bit of nuance here is that only one person can be responsible for a process. But that doesn't mean that they're the only person who can do it, because let's say person B is off sick or on vacation or whatever. Well, person A can then write your emails. But it is up to person B to communicate that with person A to ensure that their work is done. And it is up to person B to track all the data and improve that process over time. So ownership doesn't mean that they're the only person who can do it. It means that they're responsible for it getting done. Like, you own your business. That doesn't mean you have to do everything in your business, but it is your responsibility to ensure it's getting done. So how can you use this for your business to run itself? Well, there's 2 things that you need to do, okay? First, you need to make sure that your team can actually do things correctly in the right way without constantly running to you. See, what used to happen to me is one of my writers would write a piece of content and I'd be like, this is wrong, this is crap, what the fuck? And just be like, how many times do I need to tell you? And, it'd be really annoying. And of course, I just think it was because they're crap at their job, but really it wasn't. It was all my fault. And the fix was actually super simple and completely changed how well my team did their work. So what you have to do is you make SOPs and document the step-by-step process for each task. This is how you maintain standards without you overlooking everything, because your team can just follow the process and do things exactly how you want them done without coming to you. Now, instead of boring you with a ton of SOP theory and all, I've got a custom SOP AI tool, which I normally keep for clients. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Get it, it'll make bespoke SOPs for any task in your business in minutes. Now, once you make them, you then direct your team to not only follow the SOP, but if they have questions or problems, they go to the SOP first to see if it has the answer, because it likely does. But if it doesn't, they then go to their manager or you, this really depends on your org structure, with the problem. And then the SOP can then be updated with the answer to solve that question or problem forever. This way standards are maintained and people do things right without you constantly being on their back or doing things for them. But For your business to run without you, here's exactly what you need to do, okay? You look at your systems map. You see what you're responsible for. You list the tasks out, smallest to biggest. This is what I call the snowball method, because what you want to do is you work through that list and delegate the tasks in that order, because small tasks are easy to systemize and delegate, right? But doing that frees up some time for you to then systemize and delegate the next slightly bigger task, which takes a bit more time to systemize and delegate, and this creates a snowball. So we start small, we work bigger, okay? And see, when you're delegating, do two things. You want to update the responsibilities in your systems map, and secondly, you want to walk the person through the systems map, their responsibilities based on the map and the SOP. This will show them the importance of their role, that without it, the business cannot operate, as the next thing in the systems map cannot be done properly, which gives them meaning, okay? This meaning and responsibility will make them rise to the challenge and do their best. Seriously, don't underestimate the impact this can have, that showing someone that they're important, it can be a game changer, right? And your business will run itself when everything involved in the day-to-day of your business has an owner that isn't you, right? It's that simple. If your business has 20 tasks that are required every day for it to function, then get those 20 tasks off your plate and it will run without you. But obviously, one of the issues here is that you need your people to stick to the systems, actually use SOPs and improve at their job over time. So if you want to see how you can do that, click the video on screen now and I will show you the system for it.